All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and the glory and the honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rahawah Kai Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Starting with the 144,000, Shalom. We are in some serious times, brothers and sisters. You know, we are about to witness a major prophecy come to pass. Which, you know, that prophecy is was spoken about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, starting at the 16th verse, about Apostle John. And we are close. We are. It's right around the corner, man. You know, it's very close. You see, so a lot of these Jakes need to wake up, because there's not much time left. Because when all this come to pass, it's gonna be too late for a lot of you Jakes, man. But you see, really that doesn't matter, because, you know, we know we're here. First of all, we're here for the elect. We're here presenting the truth for the elect. For the elect to benefit from it. You 2/3, y'all are irrelevant right now. If you can't see that the motb is the RFID chip, then you're lost. You're undesirable. You know? You're not of the elect. See, because the elect will not be deceived by, you know, false prophets when they bring out their doctrine of the motb. The elect is going to know what the motb really is. And, you know, I was watching this video, which is a good channel called Redacted. And I recommend it. I recommend that you subscribe onto this channel. You know, they bring out a lot of good information. That, you know, especially for those of us that teach. You know, information, they bring out information that we can, you know, filter through the scriptures, that we can use and edify the body of Yahweh Shai. And pretty much, man, I was watching, well, as you can see, the title is WEF, which is the World Economic Forum, just admitted cash will soon be illegal. You see? Here's how their plan works. And it's just redacted news, right? You see? So this is their plan to make and really this is, you know, goes beyond the World Economic Forum. This is the plan of the elites, you know, the high banking family, which are also known as the globalists. This is their agenda to make cash, you know, to do away with it and to make this a digital society or a cashless society. You see, and as you look around, you notice that they're gradually doing that. You notice that this has always been their plan. Because look, you have digital cards now. Everything is everything is practically, practically, American citizens are already, using digital cash. You got this Cash App now. You got PayPal, and these credit cards are being predominantly used. And this is their plan. You see, because they're not just going to all at once fully implement the motb. No, they are gradually doing so. You see, those of us that are that see in the darkness, we see where things are going. We see what these devils are doing. What did Paul say? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We're not ignorant to what he's doing. We know what these demons are. We know what the elite is doing. You see? But I'm a play some of this video, which is not that long. I'm gonna play some of it so you can see what's going on.
Well, the banks are on the verge of collapse, hundreds of them, as Americans are scrambling to get their money out of these banks. That's not me saying this. This is CNBC News, front page news, now finally reporting what we've been warning about for years on this show. The house of cards is coming down. So we'll get to that part of it in a second with these banks collapsing. But first, cash.
You know what's so funny? So I used to work for CNBC, and I would show up for these segments, panel segments, right? And I would say, well, I'm really worried about the U.S. dollar because of this. And I would share some books, and they'd be like, oh, okay. Like the fellow panelists, they just were supremely unconcerned about yeah, whatever. People say that. They're doom and gloom. They showed no interest when I was working there.
Well, now they do, apparently, because it's undeniable. And now you have the Fed saying these stress tests of these small banks, you had the Treasury Secretary a month ago. You had Jerome Powell about a month and a half ago saying that these small banks are facing severe strains, and a lot of them are going to collapse. They're going to be gobbled up, of course, by the larger banks. They told us this, and now CNBC acknowledging this. That is front page news. So we'll get there in a second, though. But first, one way to control a population, of course, is to control everything that you buy. And the best way to do that is to eliminate cash. Because with cash, you can remain anonymous. One of the largest banks in Australia, I don't know how to say this in Australian English, Macquarie Bank, I'm going to say Macquarie Bank, just announced it's going cashless. And it will not allow customers to deposit or withdraw cash or checks from its office branches starting this month. Reserve Bank data in April shows Australians then ran to the ATMs, according to Malcolm Roberts, and they made 30 million ATM cash withdrawals, amounting to 9.5 billion in February, up from 3.6 from February of 2023. And that number is skyrocketing. So Australians are trying to get their money out, whatever cash they can from these banks. But guess what? They're going to be going to these ATMs, finding out that there's not a lot in there, and there's not going to be cash available for them. Australians are now protesting this. Here's a group of protesters who's saying, we need cash. Please do not take away our cash. Listen.
Cashless society, that sort of just means that they can track us, they can make new rules, and if we don't apply by those rules, well then they can cut our bank accounts. So if we don't have cash, we need to keep our freedoms, we need to keep our cash.
Now you see what the Australian lady said. A cashless society is basically, the elite. It's about control It's all about control for them. They want to control everybody on it. You see, they're trying to further exalt their authority. You see? Because they're never satisfied. Matter of fact, I believe that's in let's get Habakkuk. Habakkuk, I believe it's the 2nd chapter. Yeah, here it is. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah, also because he transgressed. Yeah, also because he, and this is talking about Esau, chiefly starting with the high banking families. It says, yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. There you go. And cannot be satisfied. Right? But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And this is the new world order that we're entering into. You know? And you know, they're never satisfied. They already have the world, man. They already pursuant to Job, what did it say? The world is given to the hand of the wicked. They got everything, but you see, they're not satisfied. They can't be satisfied, man. They always want more and more and more. You see? So they want to, you know, exalt themselves even more because they want, you know, they want that God like status. What is that? Isaiah. You see, to track everybody, to know where you are, to know what you're doing, what you're spending, and you know, that's trying to be like the Most High, as we're about to get. The scriptures, man. See, this is how we know the scriptures are true, man, because it explains these devils to a T. You know, this is Isaiah the 14th chapter. Isaiah 14:14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. And this is what, you know, the thought, this is the thoughts or intentions of the wicked elite. It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. You see? I will be like the Most High. And this is a good example of that. You know? When they said, I will be like the Most High, this is a good example of that. Them, you know, marking everybody so they can track everybody on the planet Earth. Because you see, Yahweh Shema Shai, he knows everything, you know. He knows the work, as it says in the scriptures, all works of men. He knows all works of men. You see, so the elite are trying to be equal unto the Most High. And you see the key word, trying. Because no matter what they do, they can never be equal until you have about Shemal Shah. You know, they can, first of all, you know, they can't live forever. Even though they trying things. You'd be amazed what they experiment on, what they do behind closed doors. So yeah, once again, Isaiah 14:14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. I want to read that in NLT version. It says, I will climb to the highest heavens. I will be like the Most High. Well, same thing. Let's try the NIV. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High. Yep. You see? So yeah. These elite, this is their purpose. The whole purpose of bringing this forth.
And the WEF is moving full steam ahead right now with its plans to remove cash, because you can't control people if I'm able to pay for things that you don't know about, right? If I want to pay the gardener, if I want to, not that I do illicit drugs, but, you know, whatever I want to do, if I could use cash to do it, you can't control me, right? I want to pay someone for a used car, right? I want to pay in cash, which is how a lot of used car transactions take place, right?
Right.
I want to sell a computer. I sold something the other day, like just cash.
Air filter.
Yeah, they sold an air filter, cash, right? So many businesses are already making the move to digital only, no cash allowed, like this pub in Britain.
Okay, so where are we? We're in Winchester. Yeah, and are you refusing cash? And what's your name?
My name's Izzy, I'm the assistant manager.
Okay, so you're the assistant manager in the pub in Winchester, and you're adamant that you can't take a national currency.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all I've got.
Okay, I'm afraid I can't tell you anything today then, unfortunately.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Even though I can personally sue you for up to £9,000.
We wouldn't be allowed to operate. We don't accept cash.
You're not allowed to operate. It's irrelevant.
On menus.
It's irrelevant. You cannot refuse legal tender. You cannot refuse legal tender.
I'm really sorry, no one will be serving today.
DeRoysty in our chat says lots of pubs now in the UK are doing this now. No cash, no cash. Let us know where what part of the world you are in, and are you experiencing this? Whether it's your local coffee shop, your local pubs, let us know. Of course, here's a British man. He just wanted to go in and buy some strawberries. He just wanted some strawberries last year, and he was told that he couldn't pay with cash anymore, and he's been shopping at this store for years. Watch this.
Tracked and apt to buy anything. I'm going to buy some strawberries, and I'm offering exactly the right amount of money here on the help desk. So you people take that money, £1.19, and I will take my strawberries outside. You can't take that. You can't take that. This is only a wage. You can't take that. I paid by legal tender. I'm paid by legal tender, and I am going out with my strawberries, and I'm going to eat them. I'm going to eat my strawberries. I'm paid by legal tender in this dystopian place.
Okay.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because you should be able to spend your eyes, what do you call it? You should be able to spend wherever you want. This is an absolute joke.
You want one, mate?
Thank you.
Isn't it amazing? I mean,
In this dystopian place.
Yes.
Like sitting in prison, like, what are you in for? I paid for some strawberries in cash. Like, whoa, dude.
You mean you stole them? No, I paid for them, but I was using the king's legal tender with the king's face on it, and they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me do that. Of course, this man is a cautionary tale because The shift to a cashless society could exacerbate existing inequalities, those without access to digital payment methods, of course, such as the elderly, low-income individuals that don't have a free cell phone, like illegal immigrants in the United States, marginalized communities would be disproportionately affected by this. Without cash as a universal means of exchange, these individuals, of course, risk being excluded from economic participation in society. But when the WEF, of course, they know all of this. And so, of course, their goal is to make sure that the government provides digital access to everyone. They'll do it under the guise of simplicity, right?
See, that's their solution. You know? What is it? What does it say? He calls all, both small and great, free and bond. Everybody gonna be forced to take this digital product. Hear that again.
Of course, they know all of this. And so, of course, their goal is to make sure that the government provides digital access to everyone. They'll do it under the guise of simplicity, right? But really, it's about tracking you. And last week, the World Economic Forum held a summit in Saudi Arabia to accelerate their move to an all-digital currency, no cash. During a WEF meeting in Saudi Arabia last week, the central bank governor of Bahrain, Khalid Houmadine, said ordinary people cannot be trusted to spend their money how they see fit. These are the words that came out of his mouth. And the elite must completely ban cash in the near future in favor of a digital solution, he said. Houmadine also, then he sort of...
What's the digital solution? Fully implement the RFID chip.
Boasted that the general public is going to accept what we tell them to accept because they're going to do this without a struggle because we're going to give them a central bank digital currency. And basically he's saying, you are all sheep, and when the elites speak, you will follow us. Watch him and listen.
If we think cash is the analog and digital currency is the form of digital, CBDC is the digital form of cash, today, clearly we're in a hybrid situation. We're using both. And we know in the past, when it comes to cash, central bankers were very much in control with all aspects of cash. And now we're comfortable to the point where the private sector plays a big role in the printing of the cash, in distribution of the cash, and with the private sector, we use interest rates to manage the supply of cash. The same thing is likely to happen with CBDC. Yes, the central bank will have a role, but at some point in time, the same way we don't call it central bank cash, we're probably going to stop calling it central bank digital currency. It's going to be a digital form of the cash, and at some point in time, hopefully, we'll be able to be 100% digital. People are used to it. Right now is many of our payments are digital. The truth is, I said that we're in a hybrid model. There's less and less use of cash. And I think that from predominantly digital with a little physical, I think the transition to fully digital is not going to be a stretch. People are used to it. People have engaged in it, and so
you see, because that's the plan. That was their plan. You know, to get you Americans used to get y'all used to using digital cash. You know, that was their plan.
Circumstances did help. His adoption rates increased because of COVID.
Yeah.
This is where contactless started to become something of a necessity, something of a safety, something of a requirement. And because of that, there is very little resistance. Trust is already there. We just need to build it.
You see what he said? Because of that, there's little resistance. And you still have some people coming up rebelling against it, but predominantly you got people going along with it. You know, they like the idea. You see? So this is their plan to get you all used to it. So when they fully implement this chip, you know, it won't be a mass of people rebelling against it.
In a way that makes sure that we safeguard the risks. Cybersecurity risk is a must, and it needs to be dealt with at the national level. And to counter cybersecurity risk, you need to continue to invest, you need to continue to collaborate, and you need to continue to train. With those three things, we've done it in the past. I think we should be able to manage these risks.
Okay, I have a lot of questions there. A lot of questions there.
And I'm sure
now,
I'm sure the infrastructure.
With those three things,
when you go back,
there is very little resistance. Trust is already there. We just need to build it in a way that makes sure that we safeguard the risks. Cybersecurity risk is a must, and it needs to be dealt with at the national level. And to counter cybersecurity risk, you need to continue to invest, you need to continue to collaborate, and you need to continue to train. With those three things, we've done it in the past. I think we should be able to manage these risks.
Okay, I have a lot of questions there. A lot of questions.
Now, if you notice, he brought up what happened when COVID hit. When COVID hit, you know, contact was restricted. You know, using U.S. dollar transaction was limited. You see, but you see that was another part of that tactic to get Americans used to that. You know, get them used to not buying products with the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, and I'm sure the infrastructure that just had a massive cyber outage in Britain the other day for their airplanes when they're all grounded. Imagine the same infrastructure applies to your payments in one afternoon.
Sure.
Right? I mean, this is what we're talking about, the cybersecurity risk.
Yes, money is hacked all the time.
Right.
All the time.
What are your questions?
Okay. So first of all, who died from cash during the COVID pandemic?
Didn't you hear?
No, I know that was the rumor. I would like some data on that.
There was hundreds of thousands of people apparently perished because they were licking cash.
Because they were exchanging money.
Right, like if I had COVID and I coughed onto a...
which was all lies. Those are lies. It was nothing but a scam. A hoax.
Like $100 bill, because that's all I carry.
Right. So that's a passe thing to say, that it was necessity of cash.
You would have gotten it. Right. It was a joke. It was ridiculous.
And he's still saying it, so that should be unacceptable.
Like he said, it was a joke. Come on, man.
To say in civilized society at this point. But the second part that he says, if you read about a great book that I want to suggest is called Layered Money, about the history of currency and why currency was ever put in the hands of governments was basically just propaganda. Julius Caesar liked the idea of his face on dollars, and then the Roman Empire could devalue the amount of nickel or whatever metal was in each coin and give themselves more money. So they were not able to resist enriching themselves through the control of a central currency that is controlled by the government. But what he's saying is that since then, private companies have been able to wrestle control already out of these governments, and now they control the cash flow. He said that in the beginning. So no longer are governments in control of money. It's really the globalists, the finances, the bankers. That's an amazing thing to admit out loud, that we've already wrestled control away from global governments. We are, in fact, moving towards a globalist society. Anyone catch that? That's outrageous.
No, it's absolutely the case. They want to. This is what the World Economic Forum wants. They don't want the United States Treasury to be in charge. They want the central banks. They want a few central banks that are controlling all of this money flow. Unelected globalists will control the flow of money. This is why it's okay that these small banks are collapsing, because they're being gobbled up by the conglomerate that are then, when we think about a BlackRock or a Vanguard, it's not like in New York City, it's international, right? So this is already happening. This is happening right before our eyes. And so he says that you, the people, can trust central banks to do whatever they want. Do you? Do you trust the central banks? He's speaking for you. A lot of people in the chat says, you might want this, meaning that guy. You might want this. We don't. This is a bridge further than we previously heard. Last year, they were telling us that they would go 100% digital, but they wouldn't eliminate cash completely. Like, you'd still have cash. You don't have to worry about that. Now he's admitting the truth. They want to eliminate cash 100%. Those were his words. We want to be 100% digital. And he admits that
and they going to do that. You know? They're going to follow through with their plan. You see? So, yeah, man, we in some serious times. And 2025 is going to be a terrible year. So embrace yourselves. So with that, on to the next lesson. Shalom to the hopefully elect that are out there. Peace and blessings to the few Aquatha elect as well. Shalom.